Oh, what's the matter? Having a bad day. You should comply when I tell you to move.
Do it again. Go on. Spray her again. Let the whole street see what you do when you think. Nobody can stop you. The young officer's grin widened as he tightened his grip on the hose. He stood on the curb like he owned the day, like the badge on his chest was a shield for whatever mood he woke up with. The water blasted out in a hard white stream and slammed into the black woman's shoulders, driving her forward to steps. Her coat darkened instantly. Her hair flattened against her head. Cold ran down her spine like a warning. People nearby flinched. A few laughed, the nervous laugh of bystanders who want to stay safe. Others looked away like the sidewalk could hide them. A phone rose from behind a car, then another, then three more. The afternoon air smelled like wet concrete, exhaust, and cheap cologne. The street had that tense quiet that comes right before a crowd decides whether it will remain a crowd or become witnesses. Her name was Nia Carter, and she did not scream. She stood still and let the water hit her as if she was teaching her own body not to panic. Her hands shook for a heartbeat, not from fear, but from shock that a grown man would do this with the easy joy of a child splashing puddles. She had been waiting for the bus. That was it. No yelling. No running. No fight. Just a woman with a tote bag and a long day behind her. The officer leaned back, enjoying the power of it. He aimed higher, spraying her face now, and laughed like he was the main character in a story where consequences were optional. He said something under his breath, the kind of remark meant to sting without being recorded clearly. His friends from the squad car snickered. A few people near the bus stop shifted uncomfortably but stayed silent. Nia wiped water from her eyes and looked at him. Her gaze was steady, not pleading, not scared. It was the look of someone who has already survived a harder storm than this. She had learned control the hard way *. Nia grew up in a home where bills were stacked like bricks, and her mother's hands were always raw from work. She learned early that the world rewards loud confidence even when it is empty. She learned that some people treat kindness like weakness, and silence like permission. She also learned something else, something her mother repeated like a prayer when life got sharp. Keep your head. Keep your proof. Keep your peace. That lesson carried her through college, through jobs where she had to be twice as careful to be taken half as serious, through rooms where someone always tried to test her patience just to see what would happen. Nia didn't win those battles by shouting. She won them by being ready. And today, she was ready. The officer lifted the hose again and made a show of it like a performer. He wanted her to flinch. He wanted her to run. He wanted her to give him a reason to say she caused the scene move, he said, voice too playful to be professional. Or I can keep going. Nia took a slow breath and raised her hand, palm open, as if stopping traffic. Stop, she said. The word was calm. The calm made it dangerous. The officer smirked. You think you can tell me what to do? Nia did not answer with anger. She answered with motion. Slow, clear, careful, she reached into her tote bag. The officer's posture changed instantly. His hand jerked toward his belt. His voice sharpened, suddenly serious, suddenly scared. Hands where I can see them. Nia moved even slower, almost gentle, like she was dealing with a nervous animal. She pulled out a slim leather wallet and flipped it open. A badge glinted under the sun. It's not the same kind as his, but one that carried a different kind of weight. The seal read Civilian Oversight Division, Independent Investigator. The officer's grin vanished so fast it looked stolen. The hose drooped. Water sprayed uselessly at the ground, splashing his own shoes. His face drained, and the street felt the shift like a door slamming shut in a quiet room. Nia held the credentials steady, letting it be seen, letting it be recorded, letting it remove the story he was trying to write about her. You sprayed an investigator, Nia said. In public, on camera. For fun, the officer blinked like he was trying to wake up from it. I didn't know, he said quickly, too quickly. I thought you were just... He stopped mid-sentence. The words he almost said had nowhere safe to land. Nia tilted her head slightly. Just what? The silence after that question was louder than any argument. Phones were fully up now. People who had looked away were looking straight at him. A woman near the bus bench whispered to her friend, as if the truth needed a witness too. A man in a delivery uniform shook his head slowly, disgusted. The officer's confidence collapsed into negotiation. "Ma Singam," he said, trying to soften his tone, trying to sound reasonable. "We can handle this calmly. No need to take this further." Nia's eyes stayed level. "Calm is exactly what we are doing." She pulled her phone out with her free hand, thumb already tapping. She spoke like someone reading procedure, not emotion. "Your badge number?" He hesitated. Nia didn't raise her voice. She didn't step forward. She simply repeated it. Firmer. "Your badge number." His throat bobbed. He recited it. Nia repeated it back, clear enough for recordings to catch. Then she looked at the hose. "Turn it off." He did. The sudden lack of water made the whole scene feel sharp, exposed. His little game looked smaller now, uglier now. Without the spray and laughter, all that remained was a uniformed man who had treated a stranger like a toy. A senior officer pushed through the crowd, face tight. He took one look at Nia's credentials, and his posture changed. The bravado left him. Professional concern replaced it. "What happened?" he asked. Nia didn't rant. She didn't dramatize. She gave facts, clean and cold. "I was waiting for the bus. I was sprayed without warning or cause. Twice. Multiple witnesses. Multiple recordings. I will be filing a report." The senior officer turned his head slowly toward the young officer. His eyes narrowed. "Is that true?" The young officer's mouth opened, then closed. He tried to smile his way out, but his lips wouldn't cooperate, sir. "I didn't know who she was." Nia's voice cut through. Calm as a blade. That is the problem. The sentence hit the crowd like a shared realization. It was never about her name. It was about what he felt safe doing to someone he assumed had no protection. The senior officer exhaled, long and tired. He spoke into his radio with a tone that meant this was already above. Argument, internal review. Immediate. Supervisor on scene. The officer's knees seemed to soften. His eyes flicked around, hunting for an exit. He leaned closer to Nia, voice low, desperate. "Please, we can talk. I have a family." "I didn't mean anything by it." Nia looked at him without hate. That was what made her power feel heavier. She was not there to destroy him for sport. She was there to stop the pattern. "Fun at someone else's expense is never nothing," she said. She paused, letting the words settle where they belonged. Mercy is not something you beg for after you cross the line. It is something you practice before you ever reach it. The senior officer directed the young officer away from the hose, away from the crowd, away from the story he had tried to control. The crowd's mood shifted from fear to clarity. People spoke up now, offering their videos, naming what they saw. No longer pretending it was none of their business. A woman stepped forward and draped a spare jacket over Nia's shoulders. Nia nodded once, accepting it. Her hands still trembled slightly, not because she was weak, but because adrenaline has a price, even when you stay calm. The bus arrived, brakes, hissing softly. Doors opened. People boarded with wide eyes, still whispering. Nia did not rush. She stood for a moment and let the street settle back into itself. The water would dry, but the record would not. By nightfall, clips circulated. People didn't share them for entertainment. They shared them because the moment was clear. A misuse of power. A calm refusal to be humiliated. A sudden reversal when the person targeted turned out to be someone who could hold the system to its own rules. By morning, statements were released. An investigation announced. The officer was removed from public duty pending review. The department promised training and accountability. Some people rolled their eyes at promises. Others felt a rare thing. Relief. Nia returned to her life. She bought her groceries. She answered her emails. She hung her damp coat too dry. She didn't feel heroic. She felt tired. But deep inside, something steadier than tiredness remained. She had not won by shouting. She had won by staying clear, staying calm, and refusing to let anyone rewrite what happened. Because the most frightening thing to a person who abuses power is not anger. It is a calm woman with proof. If this story stayed with you, comment where you're watching from and what moment made your stomach drop. Share your thoughts on what accountability should look like. Subscribe for more stories about quiet strength, real dignity, and the battles people fight without making noise.